It's not going to be your fight, it's going to be his fight.
Yes.
It's never going to be your battle, it's going to be his battle.
battle.
Because, what the mighty God we serve.
Hallelujah.
And I always try and pull that in because that has been part of my life all throughout. When I grew up, I was in the Form 4, I believe, after my father passed on. And I learned this truth about tithe, and I continued to tithe from that level in Form 4, and I believe I was only, I got
16.
13, 15. Because 16 I started work. And from that time until now, I see and I continue to see that. I've never run out of anything. I've always, it's not perfect, but I'm so confident because I know I have the relationship
with provision of
God. And Linda, if you're listening to today, I've shared this story already on this program, Against All Odds. And I've always shared about this couple. They're called the Rongaro. They live in England. And I hope you don't mind me sharing this because they always testify about it. So I believe if they have shared it out in the open, they wouldn't mind if I have to repeat the same thing. And this couple, the husband comes to church, and we used to go to England every now and then because of the church in England, and travel on a rebate travel. For us who works for the airline, it's not like a confirmed seat. When there is seats available, then you get on there. So it's called subload. And this particular time we went, I didn't have much days of leave, so I have to come back early. And every time I come to the airport in Heathrow, they're always telling me, no, the flight is full. So I'll wait around until the last flight leaves to go to Hong Kong or to connect me anywhere closer to Fiji, and then I'll go back. And this, I think it was a third time. I was at the airport, and he was already taking part in one of the evangelists that we have in Bista, in one of the camp. So when I was standing there, I really so badly want to come back to Fiji, but right up to the last flight, there was no seat. And I just said to my heart and said, Lord, if you have a purpose, why are you doing this? If you have a purpose for me to stay here for these few more days, then let it be so, but let me know what it is. But he didn't let me know, so I went. And I joined my husband in Bista, where he was taking part. So I came in, he was already doing the Bible study, and I said right at the back, just waiting for the church to finish and then for us to go. And as I sat there, he was doing a Bible study on tithe. So as he was doing the Bible study, he saw that I was there, and then he mentioned, oh, my wife didn't manage to get on the flight again today, so I will invite her to come. And that was like towards the end of his sharing.
Hallelujah.
So I stood and I walked up to the front, and I just testified, I shared. And how the Lord just led me to share what I was sharing on tithe. And I didn't realize that this particular couple was actually sitting in the church. Later, I heard on how Linda Rongaro stood and shared her testimony. Then I knew what was happening on that day. They were in a taxi, having their own different lives. The husband comes to church, and he gives his tithe. So Linda was sort of fighting with him. Why you have to give this much money? And I know if I'm sharing this story, it can be somebody's story right now. So and she kept on fighting with her husband in the car on why he has to give that kind of money, to God, the tithe. So they kept on talking about that. And on that day, they made a deal for them to come and attend church together and listen to the preaching on that particular day that he was taking part in this camp. And after that, then they will go their separate ways. You do your stuff, I will do my stuff. So that was the deal. And even during, coming towards that deal, they still having this conversation on the tithe, which I never knew until she was sharing in one of her testimony. So all the things she was saying, she said, I came in, I saw this pastor doing Bible study, I sat right at the back, and I just played with my phone, couldn't care less what's happening. It's a deal anyway, I'm just sitting there for this time, and after this, I'm going my way, my husband's doing his kind of stuff. So she sat there at the back and playing with her phone. And she kept on looking up. I said I was doing the Bible study. And then she said, and after a while, then I saw you went up to testify when the pastor called the pastor's wife to come up. And she said, when I spoke, then it got her attention. Everything that I was sharing on the testimony on that time was answers to her argument and fighting in the taxi with her husband. I never knew about the conversation they're having, but God knew. I never knew, that it was taking them after the service for them to go their separate ways. They have one beautiful daughter, and they were ready to go separate ways. I never knew all about that, but God knew. And for me, when I heard that later, then I said to myself, that was the reason why God didn't allow me to find a seat to come back to Fiji. It kept on holding me, Well, that particular day I was sharing with them what I'm sharing with you today. Our tithe not only gives you salvation, it saves your marriage, it saves your family, and not only that,